Tyler Davis left his wife and friend at their hotel for a 3 a.m. walk and never came back. Okay. All right, this is another Reddit poster. They say, after submitting this write-up, I listened to 2 episodes done by Crime Garage in April 2019. They did a lengthy interview with Brittany that clears up some questions and gives more background and details. I'm adding to the write-up. The boldest parts are from Brittany's comments. Brittany Davis, a mother of a 20-month-old, was turning 23, and she planned to celebrate. She and her husband Tyler, who's 29, were booked for a night at a hotel. With Tyler's parents watching the baby, Tyler and Brittany had met while working together in 2013. They got married because they got married and became parents 4 years later in 2017. All right, hold on. All right, when was she 23? Because the math not mathing. All right, hold on now. The story of 2019. Okay, wait. Maybe they were younger because the math ain't mathing. Because, all right, let me read this next part. They got married and became parents 4 years later in 2017. They lived in the town of Wilmington, Ohio, about 60 miles from Columbus, the weekend of February 23rd, 2019. They had booked a hotel to stay at the Hilton Hotel at Easton Town Center in Columbus. The hotel is part of a complex of stores, restaurants, and bars, so there would be plenty to do on their getaway. I wouldn't say I'm bad at math, but in 2019, Tyler was 29 and Brittany was turning 23. So she technically wasn't 23 yet. Okay, in 2019. But let's give her 23. They met while working in 2013. 7 years. 7 minus 23, making sure my math is right, is 16. 7 minus 29 is 22. Right. They got married 4 years later when she turned 20. 22 and 16. That is, still happens today. Did not. All right. Let me read the story. I forgot. I'm on a time restriction. In order to be able to take off both Sunday and Saturday, Tyler had worked 10 to 12 hour shifts for the previous 6 days. Okay. In order to be able to take off both Saturday and Sunday, Tyler had worked 10 to 12 hour shifts for the previous 6 days. He got home around 3 a.m. on the 23rd, and the couple got to bed around 5:36 a.m. This wasn't completely unusual for them because both had night jobs and got home at 2:30 or 3. But Brittany says the 6 long days had left Tyler exhausted. On Saturday the 23rd, they met Tyler's parents for lunch before handing off their son to be cared for by his grandparents overnight. Tyler and Brittany checked into the hotel about 5 p.m., where they relaxed for a few hours. About 7 p.m., they were joined by a longtime friend of Tyler's. Most sources have not named him, so I will refer to him as a friend. Man, go ahead and name him. A couple of Brittany's friends were also supposed to join them, but didn't show. The 3 left the hotel about 9 p.m. to sample what Easton Town Center had to offer in the way of nightlife. They had drinks at Bar Louie and Adobe Gillis, leaving the latter around midnight. They then moved on to the Dollhouse, a local strip club, and were there till closing time around 2 a.m. Brittany was leaving the ladies' room when closing time came, and she overheard Tyler arguing with the doorman about having to wait for his wife. Tyler fell asleep in the Uber on the way back to the hotel, and when they arrived, he was confused as to where they were. Brittany said he is hard to wake up, especially if he's been drinking. She described him as pissed off and grumpy. He argued that this wasn't their hotel, and the Uber driver was getting impatient. When he finally got out of the car, he took off walking away. It is now 3:20 a.m. Brittany said that she would follow him, but Tyler's friend offered to do it. Brittany went up to their room to recharge her phone. She came back downstairs about 3:30 a.m., but neither Tyler nor the friend were in sight. Tyler didn't pick up when she called his cell phone, but he called back around 3:37, saying he was just taking a walk around the block and would be back soon. Shortly after this, the friend came back to the hotel alone, saying Tyler was just blowing off steam and would be back soon. Brittany kept trying to call Tyler, but never got through to him until he called her about at 4:10 a.m. Okay, that rules out the friend because I just assumed the friend had did something. He said that he was walking in the woods and could see the hotel and he would be back in 5 minutes. He called again a minute later, but the call was only a few seconds of silence before being dropped. When Brittany called back, it went straight to voicemail. That 4:10 call is the last time she ever talked to Tyler. I wonder if Tyler fell in a river or something like that. just off of this first read. The friend said that he was going to go home, saying Tyler would be back in a few minutes and not to worry. He said this was a hard place to get lost in. They argued, but he did leave shortly after that last call. Brittany started calling around to friends about what she should do. She tried looking into the direction where Tyler was headed, but stopped short when she got to where there were no lights. I'm surprised the friend didn't go back to his mental note. Brittany called hospitals and the police station in case Tyler had been picked up. A friend who lived locally went out with her in the morning to drive around looking for Tyler. She thought he might have passed out or fallen asleep on the bench outside. They searched throughout the hotel, but they didn't find Tyler. Brittany has maintained that Tyler was not an outdoorsman, and that to him, the woods could have meant two trees right beside each other. She was also concerned that he still sounded so confused. Finally, Brittany knew something was seriously wrong. She called Tyler's parents at 9:30 on the 24th. She called the police about 11 o'clock. At first, the police were dismissive. Brittany says one told her that her husband is a grown man and has the right to leave her if he wants. Someone told her that they wouldn't be able to begin a search for 48 to 72 hours, an officer said. And do you know how many missing people there are in Columbus? She counted. Do you know how many husbands I have? Do you know how many fathers my son has? Brittany and her friends didn't want to wait the 48 hours. One friend started combing the woods from mid-afternoon till dark. Brittany went out with friends late on Sunday night into the early hours of Monday. They noticed that there was a hotel on the other side of the Easton Center that looked exactly like the Hilton, but smaller. So it was possible Tyler was seeing the wrong hotel, which expands the possible search. I just thought of something. When did the friend leave? Because after the friend left, they couldn't get back in touch with Tyler. Is that, or was it the other way around? And it went straight to voicemail. The friend said he was going to go home, saying that Tyler would be back. I told you, I'm keeping that friend right up there. The police began the search on Tuesday, using dogs, divers, and helicopters in the search. They told Brittany that they had searched the pond behind Costco. A dog hit near one of the ponds, so it was fully dragged and then later searched again. After 2 weeks, there was no sign of Tyler. In October 2019, police released the results of the surveillance video near the Hilton and tracking from Tyler's phone. Video showed a group arriving at 3:18 and Tyler walking away diagonally through the condominium complex on the eastern site. His phone tracks him to the Abbott Labs parking lot at Seltzer Road and Morse Crossing at 3:53 a.m. before losing contact. There was also a voice recording of Tyler using his phone, apparently asking for directions to the hotel. Beyond this, there has been no new evidence and no contact. Brittany passed a polygraph. The friend declined to take one and has retained a lawyer. The friend did help in the aftermath of the disappearance. Yeah, no, he helped. But Tyler, in my eyes, from what I'm reading, he helps. Tyler's still making phone calls while he's helping, but after he leaves, there's not another word from Tyler. That's what's making you a suspect right now. And then you retain a lawyer too. Yeah, yes, he's looking like a suspect. In March, in hopes of generating more leads, Brittany started the Facebook group Bringing Tyler Davis Home. She appeared in the April 23rd, 2019 episode of True Crime Garage, an Ohio-based podcast with a large audience. Social media grabbed onto the case, but it has not brought out any results. Instead, Brittany has been subjected to having her personal details known, being criticized on a personal level as well for her role in the disappearance. Really? Tyler's friend also had his information leaked. That is, I feel like he should be suspect number one. I forgot the written poster says he's not gonna release it. But if he already had his information leaked. All right. In a 2019 interview, the head of investigating unit cited the social media frenzy as part of the reason that the department had released little information about the investigation. On December 21st, 2021, Tyler Davis was declared assumed deceased by Clinton County Court. Lauren Razik, the attorney representing Tyler Davis' wife, Brittany Davis, shared the current for a presumption of death proceeding pursuant with the News Journal. They indicated a missing person is declared legally deceased after missing for 5 years, or when the person has disappeared and been continuously absent from the person's place of last domicile without being heard from, and was at the beginning of the person's absence exposed to a specific peril of death, even though the absence has continued for less than a 5-year period. And that's from the Wilmington News Journal. And considering this case, I'm struck by the tight timeline. With the surveillance footage showing the group got back to the Hilton at 3:18 a.m., it happened in less than an hour. We have this timeline. 3:18, party dropped off at the Hilton. Tyler is confused, decides to go for a walk. 3:30, Brittany returns to the hotel lobby and doesn't find Tyler or the friend. Starts calling Tyler. 3:37, Tyler calls Brittany, apologizes, says he's going for a walk around the block and will be back soon. 3:40, the friend returns alone, saying Tyler is blowing off steam. 3:53, Tyler's phone stops recording his position. Last ping is near Abbott Labs site. It says it's 1.5 miles from the hotel. 4:10, Tyler calls Brittany. Okay, so I might be wrong. I didn't realize the friend got back at 3:40. Okay. 4:10, Tyler calls Brittany saying he's walking through the woods and can see the hotel and will be back in 5 minutes. 4:11, Tyler calls again, but there is 4 seconds of silence before the call is dropped. When does Tyler's friend say he's leaving? Oh, it says 4. Okay. It says Brittany calls back at 4:12, but the call goes straight to voicemail. 4:30, friend leaves the Hilton to go home. The problem is the friend with Brittany that entire time? That would be another thing. The original poster puts, my best guess is that Tyler walked into a pond or other body of water. The wetland adjacent to the Abbott property seems a likely place. It's been searched multiple times, but it sounds like a hard place to find anything. The blog Murder and Malice describes it as a waist-high water with thick vegetation. On the map, it looks sizable. The blog post has screen grabs from surveillance video showing the relative positions where Tyler was walking, the parking lot, and the wetlands. If Tyler was this close, he might have stumbled into a swampy area in the dark. It's not a stretch to assume that he was drunk and tired after a long night. Brittany described him as sounding confused on the phone. It also is possible he had a medical episode and ended up underwater. I somewhat doubt foul play, as it would have to be opportunistic, and it's hard to see a motive unless someone followed him from the hotel to rob him. Accident seems much more likely. They said there's a screenshot from a TV clip. Can't really do that on podcasts. It says this person tried to recreate. Oh, thanks, subscriber. I didn't realize anybody was even listening. They tried to recreate that path on a larger screenshot, including the hotel and what looks to be a wetland or swampy area that was mentioned. It's a mile diagonally from the 3:53 ping to the hotel, so it's doubtful that Tyler was looking at the Hilton when he said he could see the hotel. He must have mistaken it for another building and made for it, and that's when he disappeared and had an accident. This person also puts, I definitely do not think Tyler left to start a new life, or in any way on purpose. His calls show that he was trying his best to get back to the hotel. It's hard to believe and sad to think about him being so close yet so far away, with likely a tragic consequence. I wonder why. Oh, this person is about to say what I was just about to say. I am curious about why the friend came back alone. I'm literally about to say that. I'm like, why did the friend just not stay with him? Leaving Tyler to his own devices. It does not seem Tyler wasn't all there. I guess even possible, even likely, that Tyler shook him off, told him to leave, and he complied. My thing is, I know what my friends anyway. You know, if you're my friend and you're in that state of mind, I don't care how many times you tell me to leave. I'm not going to leave, and we'll probably start fighting, but you'll be back at the hotel. So yeah, it doesn't matter, because especially if I know you're not in your right mind too, because let's just say there was a swampland, and because obviously he's still confused and not all the way there. Yeah, he probably, if he slipped and did fall in, if he's not, like, he doesn't have all his functionality, he probably did fall in and probably couldn't get back out. And that's probably, and maybe he did make a call, but if he's underwater and that phone, 2019, the phone should have still been good. So, but if you try to make a phone call underwater, I'm pretty sure that phone probably got damaged, and that's probably why the phone went off. I'm surprised nobody has found the phone though. To keep going, again, I'll read that paragraph. He said, I'm curious why the friend came back alone. leaving Tyler to his own devices. It does not seem like Tyler was all there. I guess it's possible, even likely, that Tyler shook him off, told him to leave, and he complied. Family has not given up hope, but almost after 6 years and little information, it is hard. Brittany spoke of how this affects her son as well as herself. Throughout her interview, she sounds honest, and in my opinion, not like she was holding anything back. I hope for her and her son's sake they get closure on this case. Yeah, I would, because unless I don't think she set him up at all. I just want to start by saying that. I don't think she set him up at all. But if she did, hand the baby off. But I don't think she would have told her friends to come, even though her friends couldn't make it. And they went to all these different places. I don't know, because his friend is the one I suspected at first, just being honest. But timeline's not matching up. Yeah, the time's not matching up. And unless he was not with Brittany during that time, then he should be innocent as well. If he wasn't with Brittany and they can't account for where this man was, then he should be a prime suspect. But if he was with Brittany that entire time and then, decides to leave after he gets back, then yeah, because unless you could trace that he hadn't left his room or anything from that time, from, was it 3:40 to 4:30, they could trace him going into his room, not leaving, and then at 4:30 he leaves his room. Cool. But if he's just wandering after meeting Brittany around 3:40, saying that he went off to blow some steam, and then all of a sudden he shows back up and says, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, then no. It does say Tyler Davis is a Caucasian male, 5'10" tall, 195 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He has a red birthmark that runs from his hand to his neck and his chest. He was last seen wearing a green and blue flannel shirt, white t-shirt, blue jeans, and Nike sneakers. Anyone with more information about Tyler's disappearance is asked to contact Columbus Police Department, 614-645-4624. Yeah. Man, this is scary. I don't know. I believe that it probably was an accident, and he accidentally fell. I think my original statement of he accidentally fell and he could not probably fell in a pond, a lake, whatever. I'm not sure of that area, but fell into probably some body of water and probably could not get out, and that's probably why his phone died. Only thing is, I'm surprised they can't find the phone, because they say he was in a parking lot, because I guess that would lead to a clue. Let's go to the comments. Somebody says, I lived in this area for years, and whenever I hear about this case online, I always feel like the narratives are a little misleading about the topography of the area. All right. This is a very busy urban sprawl area. Yes, there is vegetation in the area, but this is not a case where there's some vast swamp waiting to be combed. Oh, okay. We can't rule out homicide, and we can't rule out that the body is nearby. I just think that the write-ups on this case are always misleading by using phrases like wetlands and swampy areas. Right, and then they tell the original poster that they thought it was a great write-up, but just some misclarification. Somebody also said, I thought that the missing element was drugs. It sounds like they were partying to me. If my husband goes missing, I'm calling the police first. Yes, wouldn't even have to be hard drugs. I've been disoriented from too strong and edible. He's high, or maybe just really drunk, and the area is unfamiliar. He becomes convinced it's the wrong hotel altogether. Yeah, he did do that in the Uber, so I don't know why I didn't put drugs in there. My mind wasn't even thinking nothing like that. I was just thinking he was drunk. Somebody says, or edible and alcohol can really put you off your game. Combine it with being sleepy, it's a recipe for a disaster. I've known a lot of men, especially those who work physically labor-intensive jobs, not understanding that resting is important. Combined, and I can see it being deadly. And somebody else puts, are you saying that his wife didn't call soon enough? Drunk men wandering off doesn't usually necessitate an immediate 911 call the way a kid does. She called his parents at 9:30 in the morning, 911 at 11, and was blown off. If she had called earlier, she just would have been blown off again. I'm not saying that they weren't maybe doing drugs, but I don't think her behavior points to any kind of drug shame or worry at all. I also might be misunderstanding.